We're Kim and Al. We have been planning our escape from a fast-paced corporate life since we met 10 years ago. Freedom 45. This year, we finally pulled the ripcord. We quit our jobs, sold our home in the city, bought a property in the sticks, and are building an off-grid home ourselves. We're excited to share our experience as we create our new life on the North River. Hey guys, so as you can see, we got our first wall up with the window, and what Al's going to be doing this morning is just putting the cap plates on the top all the way around so that we just have a little bit more rigidity to the entire structure, because that wall was actually quite heavy and a little bit difficult to get up, and we just want to make sure that everything's square and rigid, because this next one that we have to put up, we're going to have to this next one that we have to put up, we're going to have to do some of the actual window from on the ladder, just because we couldn't add any more to this wall and then be able to lift it. So that's what we're doing this morning, and then we're going to get started on that second wall for this side, and then yeah, we're hoping to get both of those walls done today so that we only have the front left after that, because we're probably going to have to go and get some more lumber and that to start finishing the walls and start on the roof. So really excited, making good progress. The weather's been on our side. It's actually quite beautiful today, warm.
Imagine a world where we all belong, where no one's left out, dressed in our finest, walking the walk. Imagine what we could do. Happy days be our guests, happy days manifest. Let's stand together, put a smile on our faces, fill us up with your grace and make us better, dress us for all weather.
Hi there. We wanted to just do a quick little bit on some shenanigans that we had, some mistakes that we made, and just share with you all the process of correcting them. One of them was up on the top plate. I just did some reading and then realized a little bit after the fact that wherever you have two walls meet, so the top plate is the plate that sits on top of your studs, and you nail the studs to that, and then there's another plate that goes on top of that called the cap plate, and the cap plate is just meant to provide a little bit of reinforcement, but as well, if you have multiple sections of walls, it basically stitches together the two bottom plates, for instance. So if you have two walls come together, then you have a cap plate sit over that, and you nail it all down to hold it together. So what I had noticed was, just based on the pieces that I had, my cap plate came to the seam of the two top plates that I wanted to put together, and there was only about maybe 3/4 of a foot from the seam to where the end of the cap plate is. And what I read is that there has to be at least 4 feet of overlap. And it makes sense. The idea is that you're trying to reinforce that joint, that seam. So if your cap plate sits very close to the seam, you still have that flex. But if you have a big fat overlap of at least 4 feet, then you screw it down or nail it down, and then it provides a lot more rigidity and structural support. So that was the one thing that we had to deal with. The second was here in this wall. The wall itself is very square, but when we put the two walls together, we found that the wall was sitting a little bit, I don't know if there's a bit of cement that I didn't level properly underneath the sill, but the wall was straight but cantilevered a little wee bit. So I just hoisted it up, undid the bolts, hoisted it up, and had Kim slip some shims underneath until we had it nice and level. So that was the other thing that we had to do. And if Kim's taken a picture, you'll see that we did some shims as well, because once we had lifted the one wall, it was a little bit higher than the other one, and there was a bit of a space between the cap and the top plate. So we just shimmed that, kind of close the gap, make sure it's nice and tight. And Bob's your uncle, Fan is your aunt. Good to go.
So we have our third wall up. Everything is finished on the third wall, so pretty excited about that. It was a little bit
Carioso.
yeah, it was very heavy. I actually was thinking for some reason that it would be lighter because there would be such a big gap for the door and a big gap for the window, but you have to reinforce all around them, so really heavy wall.
The heaviest we'll have to deal with for sure.
Yeah, and huge adrenaline rush, not the good kind. So, but we got it up. It's all secure. I'll put the cap plate on, and so we're all set, and we're ready to start on the front wall now. So tonight we're gonna have to head to the city and get some more lumber so that we can start on the roof. Basically what we have left, we don't have enough for that front wall. We have enough for one part of it, and I think the center beam. But other than that, we're gonna need to we're going to need more lumber to keep going.
Yep,
and
need some more odds and ends, and then we'll make another trip to get some more OSB board to do the sheathing on the outside. And one thing you'll notice, Kim's going to show you my original drawing that we did for the wall we just put up with all the windows. And you'll see there's one difference is the door was going to be located behind the third window, like third last. And then realize the one thing we missed. I know it's fairly common, but still, we'll make sure not to do this on our home build. But you need to really mark your 16-inch centers on your plates before you put your J-bolts in, even before you put them in the concrete. Because what happened is a couple of J-bolts ended up being in the way. So we had to, maneuver a little bit, and I had to kind of scallop out with my chisel a couple of the studs to make room for the bolts. But worse so, where we originally wanted the door, and there's J-bolts right in the way. So we ended up having to use, not have to use, but relocate the door to the very first window. So not a huge deal, like in the end, we like the way it looks, and it'll be a little more convenient when you pull up with the truck, then we don't have to walk as far to get to the front door if it's raining, yada yada, but such is life.
But we're learning, we're beginners, and so now we know, and when we work on the house, we're going to know better next time. So, everything's a learning experience. Exactly. Good job. So that's where we're at.
I wanna do it all with you by my side. If you're in, meet me here tonight. Be brave and come along, I'll be your ride.